Ladies and gentlemen, welcome either back or for the first time. My name is Chase.
I'm Kyle.
My name is Steven, a.k.a. 243, a.k.a. Quadzilla.
And I'm Desi.
And we are the KC boys out of Kansas City, Missouri. And recently, I guess starting back in August, went through a once-in-a-lifetime experience for Steven and I. And Kyle tried his best.
I applied. They said, get the fuck out of here.
Kyle tried his best, but Steven and I were recently Steven featured me in the background for 2 or 3
You
frames.
might have missed it, but he was certainly in there.
I was in there, and if you look closely upon closer examination, some forensic examination, you might see me. But we played Squid Games, IRL, real life, the Netflix
challenge.
show, The Challenge, and just aired yesterday, actually 2 days ago, the day before Thanksgiving. So you may or may not have seen it. And we've got some guests with us today who were also on the show and some friends that we made along the way.
Mr. DeAndre, number
What's poppin'?
288. We're going to be interviewing him today. I've got a few questions for you, DeAndre, and I want to get right into it. What were the dorms really like?
What the dorms was really like is it was kind of cold in there. It was lit. It was just like the TV show. If you've seen the show, you walk in there, it looks like an exact replica. So I'm kind of in awe. I'm just like, dang. Like, they got the bunk beds. They got
Wasn't it cool?
the bathrooms. They got everything. So it was lit in the dorms, I will say.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. It was huge, actually, like way bigger than you would think. There was hundreds of beds in there.
After the first challenge, the first night, there was like 200-something people in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
What's crazy is after every game, they would go in there and break down the bunk bed. So you'd be waiting for hours for them to break that shit down before you went back in.
Okay.
A little insider there. But okay,
Wait, are you saying the games were in that room, or what were you saying? Or they would just rearrange them?
they would break down the beds while we were doing the games in the other rooms, in the other part of the
But
warehouse.
why?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
They would just it would just be you'd come back to an empty room.
They wanted the exact number of beds for how many people was left. So they had to like count. Yeah, they had to
Leaving
count
out crucial
how many people
detail.
left.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They would break down the beds to reflect the new number of people
The
that would
new
be coming
number.
back.
So
Okay.
it was every night you were in a different bed. At least I was.
Yeah.
And that's where you got them?
That's where I got the fleas. the fleas that I brought with me. But next question: did you have a favorite player?
I had a couple favorite players. I know I met you particularly when we were waiting to go into the dorms because I briefly met Chase prior to the games. He was a little, in his own little world. He don't remember. I don't know if he remembers this at all.
What? Hold on. What? When I met you, what went down? Because I honestly don't remember, but I have a terrible memory.
It's true.
So we were waiting for food at the hotel.
Yes. Yes. You saw me
You
with
were
my
the only
KC
one.
Blue shirt.
You had a Kansas City shirt on. And I came up to you. I was like, "Oh, you from Kansas City? Me too." And you were kind of like you were like focused, like it's game time for food or something like that. And
Shut up, DeAndre.
we were all, we were just. They told us not to talk, but I didn't care. And so I met you briefly, and we talked very briefly, and then went up there, and then I met. I saw you in line you both in line as we were waiting to go into the room for red light, green light. I saw you from afar, and I met Steven right before we went to the dorms. He was just sitting by himself, looking sad.
Nerd.
He was looking a little sad. I was like, "What's up?" And
I lost my girl Chase. I was sad.
He did.
Behind that experience, this is exactly what I was telling Steven the other day, DeAndre. When I met you, we were down in the hotel. This was before the show started, that we were getting food, and they were literally telling us, don't talk, don't do anything. They were staggering our lunchtime so we couldn't interact with people. And I was like, oh, I'm not, not trying to get in trouble. And then people like you were just like, hey, what up, hood? And I was like, ah.
A real one.
I told Steven I was on my best behavior. Normally I'm not. I was on my best behavior.
He was focused.
If I'm not mistaken, there was quite a few people from Kansas City there, wasn't it?
There was.
Oddly
There
enough,
was.
I know the mom, she was like born in Kansas City or the area, wasn't she?
Leanne.
Leanne?
Yeah.
But there was quite a few, oddly enough, and I thought that was pretty cool.
The mom of the mother and son duo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She went to K-State.
Yeah, went to K-State.
Cool.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Oh, she was a hooper too, I saw, which I didn't even know that.
Mhm.
She ain't
I
trying to
didn't
get
know
balled on right now. Let me call her up.
Nah, she ain't ready for that right now. But
Moving
no, I made cool friends with Steven. Initially, we hit it off. I didn't really feel like I had to talk with you that much afterwards because we had that common bond. 299, Spencer, we became real tight.
Where's he from?
He's from Spokane, Washington, but he currently lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
Really great dude. What happened. I ain't gonna get into all that right now, but he's a good dude. And then I'll say 65. We became cool during the first game, and the other ones were Eric, Irish Eric. I forget his number though. I forget his number. He's
I
still.
don't remember.
I forget his name, but those are kind of the people who I kind of got closest to right off the get go.
Yeah. Dude, I remember talking to you. You were strictly business, talking about social media, OnlyFans, and how to do this, that, and the third, and how to grow. I was like, damn, this is a businessman. Yeah, that was my experience. I thought that was inspiring for me. I'm over here trying to figure out what the hell is going on. What is this game? And you're talking about business. I was like, damn.
This boy had content ideas.
I'm lacking.
I was there for the game, but also I was there, and I talked
You
to a
were
lot of
networking.
people. Some people like, "Oh, you talking to too many," but I didn't care. I was trying to see what the lowdown was. I was trying to see, I'm trying to make something after the show.
I was the exact opposite of you. I was trying to stay low key, stay behind the scenes, stay in the shadows like a damn shinobi, and you were over here. talking to
DeAndre,
me.
personally, you could never.
But moving forward, what did you think after seeing the show, and how would you compare it to your actual experience on the show?
After seeing the show, I thought they did a fine job with it. As many people as was. People had some complaints about it being rushed. I thought it was a little rushed, considering how long Red Light Relay actually took and
Yep.
the dramatic things that actually went down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could have made that last at least 15 minutes longer.
Oh, minimum.
It went
Minimum.
from old girl who was in a squat. It
Yep.
went from why did I squat my legs to okay, I'm done.
I'm done.
And there was like no context.
Dog, so I met her in the hotel after we had both got kicked off. Don't worry about that. I met her in the hotel, and there was other people there too. They say that girl, her name was Jordan, that she was squatting for minimum 30 minutes, closer to 45 minutes, and they made her look like a bitch on there. Like, oh, I'm squatting. Why'd I end up like this? I'm done.
And she was crying.
And she said it was not like that. She held that hoe for like over a half hour.
Why though?
Oh, yeah.
And they memed her on Netflix had the audacity to meme her on Instagram talking about how long
snap.
the picture of her, and it said, how long would you hold a squat for $4.5 million?
Oh, I'm pissed.
Yep.
I didn't see that.
I'm pissed.
Oh,
They
they
did
did her
not.
dirty.
They did
They
her dirty
violated
when
her.
she held it for.
Damn.
They said it was probably closer to 45 minutes that she held that squat.
So was that average, like between red light, green light, you think? What
Yeah.
was the time? 30, 45 minutes?
30, 45
Between
minutes.
that's
each
boosty.
one, dude, and they made it look like it was quick. No.
Was it all? Was
Yeah,
it
no,
all
she-
the entire thing?
Mhm.
So that's why they had you indoors, so you
It was
couldn't
in a
tell the
big old
night to
hangar.
day difference from it taking
Mhm.
all day. Okay.
So Chase, you got to talk to this girl. Did you ask her what was going through her mind when she got in squat form?
Dog, it was pretty incredible. So when I got kicked off, don't worry about that again.
No, we worried about it. We worried about it.
Dog, it's so crazy because I think back, like, if I could pick a game, I'll be like, oh, it was mental, it was a little bit mental, a little bit physical. Like, yeah, I'm gonna excel at this. No, I got fucking 3 rounds in, I was out. But anyways,
They made it look like 1 or 2.
yeah,
though.
they made it look
bro.
like I started off bad. Like, come on, dog, I was in there for a few
Took
hours.
one step and bing.
So we got back to after we got kicked out, we're all just chilling for hours. Every single aspect of this game took hours and hours and hours. So we're just chilling on the bus. We go back to a hotel because we literally didn't even make it to the dorm. We didn't get to see the Squid Game,
bunks.
like the room, the bunks, all that. Literally didn't even get to see that.
Damn.
So we get kicked out, shuttled back to a hotel. And when I tell you there was some trauma bonding going on at the hotel, I'm not joking. Like, I genuinely think some of the people who are on this show have never done anything hard in their life. The way they were talking as if it was like, and I mean, I don't want to discredit their feelings or emotions, but they were talking like it was a legitimately traumatic experience for them. And I'm just like it was
hard.
tough, but this is what it was. Think about how overly descriptive the producers, the lawyers, everybody was there talking about like, this shit is going to be hard. It's going to be, and everybody's like, yeah. But then they wanted to act tough, and then as soon as we were done, they were like, I can't believe they made us do that.
It
And
was
I'm like,
the head honcho who explicitly said it's going to be very hard. We're not going to make this easy for you.
yeah.
And everybody was on board until they wasn't.
Until it was hard.
And then it was actually hard, and I'm like, you guys were so dismissive. They told us how hard it was going to be. They were like overly pushing it, like how hard it was going to
Well, how hard is green light, red light, and cutting a cookie? I mean, come on, guys.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
You
Right.
soft.
So
be. You
easy.
say it like
Soft.
that. But so we go back to the hotel. Long story short, we go back to the hotel. I get to hear everybody's little horror story, battle story of what they just went through individually, and it was really fucking cool. But that girl Jordan said Yeah, I ended up in a squat position and we were like, oh no. And she was like, I was galloping. I was like side galloping and just ended up squatting. And I just knew I was fucked. And they were like, girl, you held it for way longer because the people were right by her. Also got kicked out. I guess it was a loser circle over there. Including me. I was
That's
right
funny
outside.
that you say you lose their circle because every single round, people were getting zapped all around me. I was horrified the whole time, starting with you.
Yep.
I saw Chase. I was like, no, it's going to be Chase. And then pop, pop, pop. Like,
There's no
"God damn it,
warning.
yep."
They just straight up, they're like, and bing, bing, bing. Just
Yep.
that's literally.
So
Oh,
what they would
damn.
do is you would freeze up, and then they brought the camera people out, and then they had the people in the background doing the tests and whatnot to see who actually moved. Going over the footage. So it was probably 10 minutes, and then for some people it was obvious, but then Chase was one of the ones where it was like 10 minutes later he got
Yep.
popped
Damn.
Yep.
because that's how subtle his movement was after. It was like a half step
They
at
had
most.
to go watch the instant replay.
Yeah.
But they were, then they would just start popping. But then we would go wait in these tents after we got kicked out. And I was like, hey, get up in here. You're a loser. Hey, you're a loser. Get up. I had people dying. I was like, hey, this the loser tent. We're about to go home. Get up in here.
Losers, get up in here.
I was like, ha ha, you're a loser. Me too. But don't worry about that. I was just talking shit. That's where I was making my friends after we got kicked out.
That's hilarious.
that was
Trauma
fun.
bonding.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. In regards to Dalgana, DeAndre, walk us through what was going through your head when you saw the first group get eliminated and then leading up to your elimination. We want to hear all about it.
When I see everybody get popped, I originally thought it was going to be everyone's hands on whoever their hands on the shape and they were good, but that wasn't the case. Everyone get popped and I was like, oh Lord, I'm like going through it right now. And then everyone starts rushing up to me in line, telling me, do this, do that. You got to be the leader of the group. You got to do whatever you do. Don't pick umbrella. And in my head,
can I
I
interrupt
talk
real quick?
Yeah,
Why
go ahead.
was you so close to the front? Is that a strategy of yours or just by chance?
So when we walked in there, I honestly just walked up to the line. I knew I didn't want to be first, but I wanted to be close to the front just because, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about like, oh, if I'm in the front, I'm going to have to make a decision. That was not the case. I saw the show. In the show, it was random. It was just like the guards popped out and they gave it to them. It was random. So I wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm going to have to make a decision. I just went up there, not really think. I was near the front, getting one of the early people in there anyways. So I just walked up to the line. Nothing was going through my head. So there wasn't really any strategy behind that. Hence, looking back, I should have gotten the back. But yeah, so, it's my time to go up. They say, everyone's running to me, telling me this, that, and the third. Tell people, I'm like, look, the umbrella can't be that hard, can it? They're like, no, I've tried it at home. It's so hard. It's impossible to do. We won't get it. I was like, y'all, it can't be that hard. Because I'm like, if there's 5 seconds left, I'm going to the umbrella. I told everyone. They're like, no, don't do that. Oh, my gosh. Please. My kid's at
So
home.
you were
I'm
freaking
like,
out then.
it was going down for some people in the line. And I was like, all right, I guess I can't pick the umbrella. And so if you remember
that
them,
is horrific peer pressure.
it was a lot, I mean, I had my mind made up, and if I was the first in line, I probably would have picked the umbrella. But
DeAndre, if I remember correctly, so you guys ended up racing to see who would get what shape, which, oh boy, cheated. He was like, 1 go. And then 2, 3. He was 2 steps ahead by the time you guys went. But anyway, I digress. If I remember correctly, they said specifically you can't play any games to choose a piece.
they did say that, and they didn't show that in the show. So they said, when you make a decision, you can't play any games. And so we were thinking rock, paper, scissors. You couldn't do all. So that was out the window. We had a discussion at first, and we weren't going anywhere. And so this dude, he said, let's do a race. And I'm like, at this point, there's like a minute left. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, well, let's just do it. And then everyone agreed. Everyone said yes. And so we all do a race. He's like, 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, he takes off, gets to the circle first, clearly. So I go to the triangle. I get to the triangle first. As you can see, you can slow it down on TV. You can clearly see.
You
I
came
get there.
elbow first. You went through the wall. They didn't really show, but you went through the damn wall.
I did. I was like going full speed ahead. I punched through the damn wall. It was a lot going on. You can go back and see. But yeah, I get to the triangle first, and then the other dude gets to the triangle, and then when he gets there, actually, he goes to the star, and then the older woman, she goes to the triangle for some strange reason. I don't know why she did that. And so there's a jump cut with the edit, and so it shows her and me on the triangle. And so I go to the circle, and then I go, I walk to the circle, touch that, then I walk back to the triangle, then I walk down to the star, because at my head, I'm like, all right, I'm still going to have to make it through. And I'm looking at the dude on the star, and I'm like, look, man, I already came down from circle. I'm not doing this. You got to go. And he's like, I'm not moving at all. I was like, look, brother, we can either talk this out right now, and you can go to this umbrella, or we're just all gonna have to die because I'm not doing it, coach. This ain't happening. This ain't in the playbook.
Hey, I respect the fuck out of that. You were willing to risk it all. You said we will all go home. I do not care. Bink, 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 bink.
Yeah.
I didn't care, and there was a clock was ticking, and if you could see in the edit, it's like it's 5. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then boom, we out. And at that point, I just lost all kind of sense of what was going on. I was just disconnected. But yeah, that's what happened. Pop, we're out. Goes crazy, and yeah, that's the end of it. After that, they take us out, and I'm pretty shook right now, not gonna lie. I did like punch the wall again where I punched it before.
Damn.
Which I'm glad they did not show that. I'm
You
so
hit that wall with a 2-piece?
I didn't know that.
yeah. No, it was I was high tense. I mean, I go out, rip my shirt off, rip my everything mics off, all that
Putting on
stuff.
a
I take
show.
off like outside. It was a lot of shit going on.
Hey, nothing but mad respect for sticking to your guns.
Yeah.
I had
some
to, man.
idiot
At that
shit to
point,
do.
I had to.
Yeah.
So were you in? So they had the 4 separate lines. Were you in the line that was like behind the? Because in the show they made it seem like the 4 lines lined up, and the farthest line to the right was supposed to go to the umbrella, and people were like, "You lined up in line 4. That sucks. That's how we should pick. It was all luck type thing."
That's kind of how people like when we went in there, like, oh, you were in number 4 line. Yes, I was in the umbrella line. Essentially, they got picked. But in my head, I'm like, look, y'all, that's not how this game is going to be played. Who cares what number line we were in? That's just how it happened. If it was luck of the draw, whatever. But we have the opportunity to pick. So if y'all want that to be y'all motive and y'all strategy on what's to determine my fate, then y'all got another thing coming to you because I ain't rolling like that.
Then come get this elimination.
Right. So I'm with you, DeAndre. So I was literally, obviously, I can't speak firsthand. I didn't make it that far. Don't worry about that. But watching the show as a casual viewer at this point, I was looking and I'm literally thinking, oh, just do the umbrella. It's might be a little bit harder, but at least you get to try and you don't get eliminated. But with everybody yelling at you, dude, I know that would have been TMI. And come to find out, yeah, most of the umbrella people ended up losing for breaking that shit. So maybe the umbrella was as hard as like seriously don't get the umbrella like they were making it seem.
Yeah, no, only about about 5 people got the umbrella out of almost 50. So I mean, you do the math, and yeah, I mean, hindsight, sure, I would have taken the chance and picked the umbrella, but at the same time, it's like I'm not thinking. You get 2 minutes to decide with 4 people on what to do on the chance, to survive or not, and that's just kind of the odds it came down to.
Oh, dude, I was stressed watching from afar, so I can't imagine what you were.
Well,
going
it
through.
also didn't help. One detail I forgot to mention: when I was walking in the room, everyone was chanting my name because I made so many friends in there. People were like, "Yeah, Andre." So I was like, "Oh, I can't be the umbrella now."
Yeah, I was sad when my fellow Kansas City native was eliminated. So I was definitely one of them.
I knew going into the game, I was either gonna, in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I'm either gonna win or I'm gonna have to fall on my sword for somebody else," and that latter happened to be the case.
Sure enough. Okay, moving on. What was your favorite actual experience, and what was your favorite part watching the show?
My favorite actual experience in the show, honestly, was, I'd say, I mean, in the dorms meeting the people. Like, not trying to take away from everyone who got eliminated in the first game, but dorms, like, we spent 3 days in that dorm doing nothing before the second game. So it was a long time of just not having your phone, not having none of that, and then actually kind of just getting able to meet people, talk to people. I mean, I was running around jibber-jabbing the whole damn time. And
I noticed.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I bet. I saw you on the ledge creeping. But yeah, I mean, I met a bunch of people. It was lit. Some people came from Japan, some people from, England, Italy, all over. And it was just surreal to kind of see that. So that's probably my favorite part. My favorite part seeing on TV was probably some of the slow motion reactions to people dying on red light, green light. That was hilarious.
Yep.
And then, not to jump ahead, I ain't trying to spoil nothing, but if you like some of I think the Jack in the Box, that was top tier episode for me too.
Yeah.
My favorite part
It wasn't my favorite.
after fellow mullet guy and girl kicked off voted off that one dude and then acted brand
Oh,
new.
yeah.
Brand new, out screen,
Oh.
lying, this, that, the third. I was dying, dude. He was trying to act surprised. That was hilarious.
Me and Gabriel was immediately we knew what went down.
Yeah.
But we weren't gonna say anything. They made it pretty clear that we knew too on the show. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I can tell.
scumbag. He was my boy. I wasn't gonna call him out, but fuck, scumbag.
Should have.
Shout
Well,
out
it's
Kyle.
funny because
At
the
least I love
girl
to,
I
you
talked
know?
to the girl after she got eliminated too, and she felt horrible about it. And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" And she was crying in the hotel, like it's over, you know. And I didn't know who she was. I never met her. I met Kyle 101. He's a good dude, you know. You can't miss him with a thick country accent.
Well,
But,
you said he's a good dude. His mullet says otherwise.
He needs to take some tips from Steven. He needs to take some tips. I'm
Hey, I
not gonna lie.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Mullet's looking
yeah,
a little
so-
jank.
That I don't know. See, obviously not being part of the process, I don't know what they cut or just what wasn't clear in real life. But they seem like his name was like Moti or Moti. I'm not sure. Number 200 was
Mothi, yeah.
Moti was completely random. I was like, he was not part of anything. They were just he hadn't been even in the discussion. They were like, all right, we should eliminate somebody, cut, and then it shows him getting eliminated. I was like, that is fucking random.
Yeah, I don't even remember like being there, what he did or why they would choose him. I can't
Right.
remember whatsoever.
Yeah.
So his I got to talk to him for actually 2 hours, a long time right before he got eliminated. And what he was doing basically, which I saw, I mean, there was games being played. People were playing jump rope with people's shirts, and people were playing the random games, and he was kind of like starting the games and being the ringleader of starting like the community events, and that's their reasoning. And
He's
he was a
being
pretty
loud.
popular character in there, but I mean, I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say he was really friendly. So
He was really friendly, and I'm shocked they didn't eliminate 432.
yeah, he was easily the villain of the whole shit.
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, from the show
Brighton,
aspect, when I
right?
look,
Brighton.
That's
You
his
said
name,
what, sir?
Brighton. His name
Yeah,
is
yeah,
Brighton.
Brighton. Yeah.
Was he? So they obviously made him the villain. Was he like that behind the scenes?
From my point of view, I mean, I talked to him several times. He is portrayed accurately on the show than how he was acting.
Yeah, so he was definitely not liked on the show in real life.
Yeah.
He came up and talked to me one time, which they didn't show, but I was very short with him. I just made it clear I wasn't mean or anything. I was cordial, if anything, but I made it very short so he would not be around me.
He wasn't trying to be associated with.
He
the
was
riff
low
raff.
key. This
making
man wasn't
too much
talking to
noise.
nobody.
Yeah.
I was talking to my little gang and the little Gambu gang. That's about it. Dude, I was playing it to where I wanted people to not know that Chase and I were a couple
Yeah.
and we were together.
even going into red light, green light, people would be like, because we were just obviously by each other. They're like, you guys know each other, and we're just bad actors. But he's like, no, I just met her today.
I just met
Where
her
are
in
you
the back
from?
room.
You from Kansas City? Yeah, I'm from Kansas City too. Where you work? Let's get. I work at Let's. No, but we were just putting on a little charade of us not knowing each other, and Steven thought that was the move. Which watching the show now would have 100% been the move. Like for real,
100%.
like we were being dumb. We didn't really know what was going on. If we made it to the dorm, definitely act like we don't know each other.
I was super surprised that it was only like 2 seconds to be like, oh yeah, he's my best friend, he's my brother, and then bink.
Any
2 seconds
reason
in,
for
gone.
standing out was enough reason. Like even when the girl and Kyle were in the kitchen peeling the carrots, talking before they eliminated 200, they were talking about the mother and son, literally just because that's who they thought of. You know what I mean? No reason other than, they just
Memorable.
stick out. There's something memorable, so let's call them out. And their name was on the chopping block or in the discussion. So any
But,
reason
I mean,
to-
they have 2 times the power
yeah,
Yeah.
as a couple.
yeah.
I was
Well,
surprised
I mean,
that the mom.
Steven,
and
you weren't doing the best job of being coy because a lot of people were talking about you in there. Just heads up, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was literally hiding the whole time.
Hold on,
anytime
hold on,
you're
what-
walking away from people, they're talking about
how
you.
you gonna
I
hide
guess,
with that?
I guess I do know why. They fucking
Oh, you
took
pointed at the
me
mullet.
back to the MIV room several times a day. And people saw that shit, and I was like, God, I even told the interview people, like, I'm not trying to do this. You guys are messing up my game plan.
Didn't you make somebody sneak you a latte or something?
Yeah, people saw that.
Hold on, I want to hear from DeAndre. DeAndre, you had your ear to the ground listening to hoofbeats and looking for broken twigs. What kind of stuff were they saying through the grapevine about Steven?
So they were saying, "Oh, this guy, he's getting called back there a lot. He's always gone," and that was a big thing. And I was like, oh yeah, he is. Like I was looking for him sometimes and I couldn't see him, and I was like, oh, he keeps coming out again. He's coming out again. I really didn't have anything to say, but I heard a lot of other people saying this. They were saying that. They were saying you were on the ledge a lot, just like peeping games. Everyone like being, a fox on the ledge looking for his prey. And they just, I don't know, you just kind of stood out on your own accord because I mean, it's nothing that you did. It's just your presence. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
It's the
show
way he
you
looks.
too much right here, but it's just like you
mean-
kind of stood out, and that people noticed that.
You can't
People
be the
noticed
hottest
that you
female
didn't
in
want to
there.
get involved.
I was the hottest girl there, wasn't I?
For anybody listening who doesn't know what they're talking about, Steven was getting, and you could tell us how it went down, Steven. Steven was getting pulled in, like they're all in the dorms. Steven would get sequestered to come into a separate room to do more interviews for the show. So anytime somebody would get called, obviously everybody could see them leaving to go do it or coming back and like, oh, there he's going again. You know what I mean? So that was just drawing the attention. How
It
would
started
they
from day one before red light, green light.
how would they get you? Would somebody come to you or would they
So they had these incognito produce helpers or whatever on the team that would be dressed up, and they would say, "Hey, we need you for an interview,"
wearing the same
Yeah.
costume?
just so they fit in and whatnot,
Okay.
and wouldn't be a distraction on camera.
And they would just come get you.
Yeah, they'd come summon you, and I'd be like, "Oh, fuck."
What
I'm
if you
surprised
told
I
them,
didn't show any of
what
those.
if you
I did
straight
it every
up told
time.
you? What if you straight up told them no? I'm not gonna go.
I was
He couldn't do
punked.
that.
I did not do
He's like,
that.
sorry, I gotta go take a shit.
Because I mean, I understood the value of doing that, and I did want the
Yeah.
screen time, and I understood the odds of me winning, and I was like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do my best to be low key and do what I have to do here.
Yeah.
Because I would tell people, I was like, I do not want to go back there. I don't know why they keep calling me. I don't know what. I ain't shit.
Did you try tippy toeing so nobody could see you?
I did that one time actually, but it's because it was so I was in it. It was after Warship, and I was in there for hours.
Yeah.
And by the time I came back, everybody was sleeping. It was night. The lights were off, and I was just oh fuck, tippy toed my way back so no one would notice me. And yeah, so that's the only time I was
The door
actually
banged
careful.
shut. Everybody.
Hey!
There he is.
Oh, I heard the symphony of snoring going on, and I was like, God damn it. Yeah. But that was the hardest part for me, doing all them damn interviews.
Yeah. What was the sleeping like, DeAndre? Was there a lot of snoring? Was it hard to fall asleep? Were there other extracurricular noises going on?
Similar to.
For me, I'm a narcoleptic. I can fall asleep anywhere. It's pretty simple. So I had no problems. It was a little hot in there at night, and they told us you can't take off your clothes at night. And I was like, forget all this. I'm taking everything off.
I was gonna say I definitely saw one homeboy on TV had everything, but he just had his drawers on, and they showed him on TV.
I was surprised. They told us not to do that. So sleeping was easy for me. Look, in college, I had 18 different roommates throughout college. I've many different roommates throughout life. So it's like sleeping around random people. It's not a problem for me. And it was just, it was what it was.
It wasn't too hard for me either, mainly because I can sleep anywhere, but I was exhausted. I don't know about everybody else, but dude, the travel to get there,
You look tired on screen.
yeah, I was just beat. I would,
You said
know-
there's days in between games?
I mean, the first game,
The first game, but like after that, it was back to back?
it was every day. But yeah, dude, even just mustering up the energy to be entertained. They didn't portray how often I was in there doing interviews and how long, but I would have to have this fake energy and enthusiasm that I just did not have, and then that would wear me out. Plus, my social battery was drained from.
Oh, she's an
talking to
actress.
So many people, dude, and so yeah, I mean, I was, as you could tell on screen, I was so tired.
I'm surprised nobody tried to play the game of like, I'm going to scream while everyone's asleep so nobody gets any sleep. And we're all going to be tired tomorrow. Y'all want to play that game?
You'd be the villain
Yeah,
instantly.
the instant
Yeah.
villain. Everybody's tired,
Gone.
man. So,
Next
what's up?
game.
Ah!
No, they would have been.
They
gone.
jump your ass in real life. It's not even part of the show. They just jump
That's
you.
how it worked at the beginning. If you were known or was a presence, or they were mainly looking for anything negative, you'd be voted out because
Yeah.
there was no other
Yeah.
way
criteria.
to
To
face
go-
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, everyone was pretty cordial and nice with each other. Like there wasn't really much drama and stuff going on overall. And so any small little thing, that's why it was stupid. Like Steven said, it was stupid for you to kind of stand out and stupid for you to start anything. Cause you saw what happened in 161. I mean, even Andy, the first guy who got voted out in the line where you had to vote 3 players out, like he barely did anything.
Yeah.
And the smallest thing will get people to like notice you and vote you out.
Yep. He did
Yep.
something very small. I don't remember what it was, but he did something that made himself stand out in a somewhat negative way. Gone.
Even at the first Jack in the Box, this dude said, I'm eliminating the one person in here that I haven't talked to. This girl was just playing it low key and quiet. gone. And she was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, that makes sense. It's like a fine line between sticking out too much versus she got kicked out for being as low key as it gets. And I don't think she had been on camera. I mean, maybe back in the background one time. She was just out of the blue.
I don't. First time I saw that girl.
Yeah.
Same. Well, we're gonna start to wrap this up, DeAndre. So this is my last question. So who is DeAndre, player 288, and what's your message to the world?
Well, me, I am the guy with no longer the flat top. As you can see, the hair is gone.
It's rounded.
But yeah, but we still here, better than ever. But yeah, myself, I'm an actor in New York City. I've done a lot of TV, film, commercial, all that, etc. Entrepreneur, I have my own small businesses. I'm out here doing my own thing, trying to make amends, trying to also live my life to the fullest, man. And my message to the people is step out your comfort zone, step out your box, do what makes you happy. If you're scared of doing something and it makes you uncomfortable, that might be a sign that you need to actually try it and give it a chance and just go for it. Doing the show was a good experience overall. Got to, the people meeting was the best part, but also kind of just doing something exciting, exhilarating, and something that kind of tests me. That's kind of my mantra for life. And yeah, that's who I am and who I is. And I plan to be the better version of myself every day,
That's awesome.
I love it, dude.
That's
and
sick,
I feel very fortunate for having met you, DeAndre. It seems obvious to me as to why this circumstance would happen for you. You bring an amazing energy. And I think that, your outgoing personality has just led to good opportunity for yourself. So keep that shit up, bro. And I'm thankful to be friends with you now.
I'm thankful for y'all too, man. I'm blessed to be able to meet y'all and see y'all soon after the show is over to get to know you outside of that. And yeah, nothing beats that. I mean,
Right.
Money can't buy that stuff. So
yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's genuine real life human connection that came out of this show for sure.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, everybody. That's DeAndre, player 288. We're also going to be on your podcast. What's your podcast?
my podcast is called the Squid Games Aftermath podcast. We're going to talk about the episodes and we're going to get into some things that the peoples want to hear and been requesting. And so tune into that. It's going to be dropping soon. We're going to have a lot of people. We got the first 2 episodes already out. Episode 1 recap with Player 66 and episode 2 is out with Player 299's Umbrella Spitter Cookie Guy.
Yeah.
So check those out. It's you got to see what's going on in their heads, and yeah, we'll get down to the nitty gritty with these 2 soon.
I love it.
Awesome. So we're gonna be on there. Make sure you guys check his out too. That's DeAndre, player 288. Nice talking to you. Appreciate you coming on the show for us.
Appreciate y'all. It was good.
All righty.
Thanks, bro.
Quick message. We're going to take a break. Quick message from our sponsor.
Quick sponsor break from the 2024 Sexy Mover calendar itself. This is our sponsor, and if you guys haven't checked it out, go to the link in our bio to be able to pre-order yours now. Prices will go up once we get the physical copies in hand, but pre-order is available for another week. Kyle, tell them about what I'm can't stop staring at here.
Well, this is the 2022 Sexy Mover calendar, and boy, have we evolved since then. The production quality, the amount of risque that we're doing.
Ooh.
Good about it.
It's hot. It's
got
even
me going.
It's burning my hands to even touch. We get more nakeder, and there's a huge jump in the quality of the product that you're gonna get. So the 2024 Sexy Mover calendar available now. Pre-order link in the bio. It is hotter than ever, better than ever,
and it's the last one we're ever gonna do.
And it's the last one we're ever gonna make. So make sure you get yours
To get yours.
so you can get yours.
Good one.
Yeah, Chase, I'll tell you, man. Chase, it sucked that you went out.
Yeah.
But who knows? I might have never met up with him if you were there, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I was pissed that Steven so very quickly and easily made new best friends.
Listen, he said there was a guy here with me. I forgot his name already.
Yeah. That's how it goes. He's like, I'm not even joking, Dan. This is not a joke. So Steven was right behind me at red light, green light. As he's running by me, he said, "Got your ass, bitch." He's talking shit and literally scooting by. And I was like, yep.
And with that being said, we're back and we got Dan, player what? 204, Dan, what are you?
204, baby.
Dan, player 204, one of my top 2 favorite players in the whole show. And we're going to interview him today. And I'm going to get right into it. And I want to start with.
Well, first and foremost, Dan, thanks for joining us. I appreciate the hell out of this.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks
You're
for
king.
having me, guys. Big fans of all you guys.
Yeah, not me, but yeah.
Appreciate that. My first question is, do you think the show did red light, green light justice?
First of all, I love the show. I love everything about it, but I don't think they really put into perspective exactly what we were going through there. The amount of time it took, the temperature. So no, I don't think it did justice. Again, they did a great job, but they did not make it look as hard as it was. That's for sure.
Wasn't that a nightmare and a half to deal with? And I'm talking physically. That was crazy.
Listen, man, I've been hit in the face with a 90+ mile an hour fastball. I almost died after COVID, after a car accident.
Oh my God.
I've done Tough Mudders, Spartan races. That was physically the worst thing I've ever had to do in my life.
And who would have thunk it? Simply standing still.
Yep.
Jesus.
It's just not in our DNA.
They make it. They
Really?
make in the show. They make it look like it's actually 5 minutes when in reality it was hours and hours. You guys were.
And how cold was it?
Yeah.
It was freezing.
They said 20,
temperatures.
26 degrees. So
Oh
when
my
I got
God.
home, Dan, and they was my whole family, because they know I'm an athlete. I play rugby and work out every day and play basketball. And they was like, red light, green light, dog. And I was like, well, yeah, when you just say it like that, I sound like a bitch. But, you know, it was harder, I promise.
It
We
was
get our
certainly
first
not
round.
your everyday red light, green light.
Oh.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard not to spit my drink out right there.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, dude. All right, I'll get into the next question. How did it feel seeing your face on Netflix? Your beautiful bald face and head.
Listen, listen. After meeting you, I'm like, I'm gonna have to grow my hair out and have a mullet like him, you know. But no, listen. Seeing my dumb old face up on my screen, it's weird. It's cool as hell. Like I'm like, why me? Why am I up there? It makes no sense, but I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. My kids are psyched. My wife is psyched. So, but yes, weird as shit to see my dumb face up on my own TV.
How were you watching the show? Because Steven, we had a watch party, and Steven was standing about 4 inches from the TV screen with his arms crossed for like 5 hours as we watched all episodes. So.
Dude, I was I couldn't stop watching. It was so good. I mean, I don't know if it was because I was in it or whatever, but we were all like sucked
was a good
into
show.
the show
Yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really freaking cool.
It's so good because you and Doc are freaking stars, man. That's why it's
Who
so
would have
good.
thunk it? That's crazy.
Dan, I can tell you don't give yourself enough credit. I can tell you the bubbly personality, the energy you bring in now, you were able to maintain that throughout the show. What do you think, what was going on in your mind or in your heart to keep you so positive and uplifting? I'm specifically referring to the bathroom scene after, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but after Steven and Doc got kicked off, what kept you so positive?
Well, listen, man. There are certain people when you're watching the show, in their opinion, being a leader is talking about themselves and you know highlighting everything they've ever done in their whole life that they think is good. But to me, being a good leader is not about that. It's about making sure the team is up, taking more of the blame than the credit. That's what I'm all about. And I wanted to make sure. Listen, losing Doc and Steve right there was crippling to our alliance. But I didn't want it to end us. So I needed to rally the troops. I needed to listen, guys, this is the worst thing that could happen right now, but we're still in it. We got to keep going. We got to go forward, and we got to avenge their death here. We got to
That
take
was-
some
that was-
people out now.
That
It's
was so cool to
obvious
see.
why you're on TV. You're a fucking gangster,
Yeah.
dude. I'm rallied up right
And
now.
It was cool to see it, and I was inspired for sure.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was actually one of my questions, so good job, Chase.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, baby.
Dan, did you have a favorite player?
Well, I want to say myself, but you and Doc, it's a tie. You and Doc
that's
are my
so
favorite
cool.
players. Not even close. I mean, Marcus, you know, my ride or die, just like you and Doc, I was part of what I think and consider the biggest love story of the season, me and Marcus, 209. But I mean, come on, how can you not love Doc? The guy's the most interesting, personable guy I've ever met in my life. I could listen to him talk about his bees and his stories of being a doctor. I could listen to it all day. So he's my all-star right now.
Yeah.
Same
That's
with me,
awesome.
man. I was following him around everywhere. You couldn't get enough.
Yeah, I don't. The way he goes out, I think that lady's gonna have a lot of enemies. They were like, you got rid of this completely lovable. He's literally a fan favorite for
Yep.
sure.
Well, she's a PO.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've
She's
heard
getting a lot of hate, I'm sure.
I've
But,
heard
you know,
she's
it's
been
the
getting
game.
railed on
She-
social media. That's
No.
what.
that
That
sucks for
sucks.
her.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's also
She
playing
shouldn't
the
have
game.
done. No, she shouldn't have done it.
Shouldn't have done it.
Life is bigger than the game.
That's-
Okay.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
True.
4 point whatever. No. Yeah.
You're talking about all these individuals, Dan. What does the Gambu gang as a whole mean to you?
Well, listen, it was not by accident that I picked that name. I wanted to pay homage to the show. I wanted people that have watched the real show when they watch it with us to say, all right, I can root for the Gambu gang. That's directly related to the show. And
That's
you
cool.
know, an
I couldn't
alliance
remember who
called.
started. I couldn't remember who picked the name. That's freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I picked it. I thought of it before we even got there. I said I'm going to get my team together, and we're going to be the Gambu gang because we are going to represent the real show. I didn't want the team from the left side of the dorm to be the name of our alliance, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, that means family. It means friends for life, and I wanted to echo that sentiment between each other. And just in case it came down to cutting somebody's throat, I didn't want you guys to cut my throat because we're family, man, and I wasn't going to do it to you either.
Dude, that's exactly why you were the leader of Gangbu Gang.
That is the
Yeah.
most big dick thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
think I can't
That
think of
is
anything
dope.
big. It is
Girthy.
girthy, strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Tasty.
definitely better because what there was that other alliance. What did they call themselves? The corner
The corner.
squad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh,
Boo.
come on,
Get out of here,
now.
off-brand
Boo.
Gambu.
Yeah.
Boo, fucking boo.
There was no creativity to that name, but I like that. When you said the Gambu gang, that was
tight.
very cool.
I think you won a lot of people over with that idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which was your plan? It sounds like.
You're a mastermind.
He's
I
just saying
thought
this 'cause at the end he would have gotten everybody.
I thought that would be a smart thing to do. I think people would want to root for us, and for me, my whole objective was to put a puzzle together. My puzzle pieces for my strategy. First part of it was making sure we had a name. When I got together with a group, I wanted to have a good name that people were going to want to root for, and so far, I think people are rooting for us, man.
100%.
Oh yeah.
100%.
The Gangbu Gang is definitely making some name out there, or making a name for themselves in the press. So,
Hashtag it up.
yep, excellent name. What was your favorite actual experience on the show, like while you were there, and what was your favorite part in the show?
Well, so far, again, we're only to episode 5, so I don't think I saw
don't
my
give away
favorite
too
part
much.
yet.
Yeah, nothing
But-
past episode 5.
Up to episode 5, I mean, come on, man. Warships, Steven, your life was on the line there.
Me and
we
Doc.
We worked as a team, though. That's what was so great. That they can't show the whole thing, but we didn't just say, all right, you're going there. We all worked together to put those ships where we thought they needed to be and where we were sending our shots. It wasn't me. It was not me. It was
Yep.
all of us, man. It was a team effort. It was awesome. I'm glad they highlighted Doc. Doc wasn't the only person that said F8, but
Yeah.
they highlighted him, and I'm so happy for him. But that was a team effort, man.
Yep.
And that's why it worked, because there wasn't one person leading. We led as a group, as a team. And I remember looking in your eyes, Steve. They didn't show this either. When we were trying to decide who was going to be the captain, I gave the best speech I've ever given in my life. And you were looking right at me and you said, look in this man's eyes. He's got us here.
Yep,
So
100%.
it was awesome.
I remember
man.
you getting a little teary-eyed with all the passion. I was like, yeah, this is for sure the one.
You
Yeah.
literally could not see. They could have wrote it out and had world-class actors. It wouldn't have been better than what went down. Not only you leading, not only everybody being included, but at the legitimate outcome of the game, how it was literally ding,
Neck and
ding,
neck.
ding, ding, neck and neck. And for you guys to come out victorious, who obviously everybody wants to win. No offense to the other team, but everybody wants you guys to win, and you barely edge it out. Literally
Yeah.
perfect.
It was a
Listen.
comeback victory.
Come on,
It
man.
was, I actually forgot that they had knocked out our ship before we had gotten them.
Yeah.
And
And it was the
I
two-piece.
knew it. People were going to say, there's no way it happened like that. There's no way. It happened just like that. And for us to come down to that last shot and have to take an educated guess, and not to mention, we took out some big players, man, on the other team.
Yeah.
Some big players went out that day, which was also good for the Gambu gang, you know?
Yeah.
100%.
What was crazy to me is they took out our two-piece, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, we had to take out the biggest ship first.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yes.
oh my God, what were the odds of us winning after they took out the two-piece? I felt like were 1 in 1,000.
Yeah.
And we pulled it out, dude. That was definitely my favorite part of the whole show of the first 5 episodes was winning that and seeing the Doc's reaction. I almost cried. It was so freaking cool, but I wasn't about to cry in front of my friends.
Yeah,
and
you're
family.
I think Chase would be calling you some choice names if you
Yeah,
did
some
that.
choice names.
He'd
you
be
know?
like, where were you when this was going down? Ah, don't worry about where I was. I had stuff going on.
Yeah.
Especially showing your interview, you were all teared up, and then Doc was ecstatic, dude. That almost got the best of me, and it almost made me cry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Listen,
Oh, he cried.
It was emotional, man. You know, people don't get it. And I think we even had this conversation. I watch a lot of reality TV, man. I'm a huge Survivor fan. I've been trying to get on that damn show for 21 years now. And when you watch this, it's like, I love you, man. I love you. And I'm like, you've known this person for 5 minutes, 5 days. How do you mean you love them? But when there's no food, no sleep, you're around somebody 24/7.
Yep.
I love you guys. I do. Like it's impossible to not feel that, man. So the emotion was genuine. It was real, and it got even more intense as the days went on.
Dude, and
That's
it's
so
a
cool.
new experience, and it's a traumatic experience. Being in another country and playing red light, green light for several hours, it's literally going through a traumatic thing together.
Away
It
from
just
your
brings
phone,
people
your
closer.
family,
Yep.
no phone, no contact. I
Leaning
can
on
imagine.
strangers and new
Yeah.
friends whenever your family's not around to lean on and whatnot. So, I mean, I definitely understand it. And yeah, I love you guys and appreciate the fuck out of you guys, even though we only knew each other for what, a week? It's freaking
Yeah, a
crazy.
week or a little more, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the bond that you guys made from afar, and it pissed me off. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm replacing it. No, I loved it. I thought it was so tight. But I mean, to me, it's obvious just knowing Steven, it was obvious that he was going to find some people and, attract some attention, and that, birds of a feather flock together, and that the real ones were going to naturally, find each other.
100%. But Dan, we're going to wrap this up with one last question. I want you to tell everybody who Dan Player 204 is, and just like what you do and whatnot, and then just tell us your message.
Absolutely. So Dan Player 204 is a dad, man. First, foremost, it's why I wake up. It's why I was put here. Being a dad, it's everything for me. I mean, it's literally everything. I know a lot of people say that, but I don't think dads get enough credit for what they do. And me saying that is by no means putting down moms or grandmoms. I'm just giving credit where credit's due. And a good
Yes,
dad
sir.
is undervalued, underappreciated, underestimated. So for me, that's who I am. I work in the medical field for a long time now, orthopedic surgery as a physician assistant. But that's what I do for work. My job is being a dad, and I love it. And my message, if I had to have a message, it's dads, be active, man. You're not just to go out and make money for your household. You're there to change diapers. You're there to put them to sleep when they're sick. Be an active dad, man. You only get to see them walk for the first time once. You only see their second birthday party once. Don't miss that shit because you wanted to watch a football game. You wanted to go golf with your friends. Be an active dad. And my other message is, listen, I wish I was as young as you young studs, but I'm not. I was one time, but just because you're over 40, your life's not over, man. You can have an adventure. I signed up for an adventure, and I am so happy I did it and so grateful I got to experience it with people like you, Steve.
That's so freaking cool.
Before he gets a chance, Dan, I'm not going to lie. My dad died a few years ago. Would you please, this is not a joke, would you please be my father figure? This is not a joke, dude. I am in love with you. I wish I could have met you and got to hang out with you like Steven did, because we'd have been vibing, dude.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
We'll have to get together.
You're definitely going to get a lot of fans. That's for dang sure. Yeah. And that's probably why I gravitated to you and Rick, because you guys are just father figures and role models. And so I appreciate meeting you guys, and it was probably the best part of the whole show for me.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
We appreciate you hopping on, Dan, and spending
Absolutely.
some time with us. Like I said, it was a pleasure meeting you and having some fun with you. We're going to meet up here soon, hopefully do a little Gongbu Gang reunion, and yeah, we're going to set that
Yeah,
up.
I'll help myself by showing up.
I'll crash the
I'm an
party.
honorary Can you guys jump me in? Can I get gang initiated?
Steve, you can bring a +1.
Yeah, fuck yeah, baby. Well, thanks so much, Dan, and we'll see you around.
Awesome,
see you,
guys.
man.
I appreciate your time, man. You guys are great.
Thank you so
sir.
much.
All right, we're going to interrupt the program with a quick little thing about our sponsor.
Pre-order your Sexy Mover calendar now. It's the last one ever. Get yours so you can get yours. Link in the bio.
All right, we're going to get right into it.
Well, let's introduce ourselves. Hey, Rick, I'm Kyle. I'm one of the KC boys, one of Steven's friends.
That's Chase. You might not have met him because he was only there for a second.
Rick, I was there for a few minutes. If you blink, you missed me.
And you already know me. I'm Steven.
I only saw you when you went down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, he saw it.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
funny.
the show showed. I didn't know Steven then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Steven, it was red light, green light that decided our fate.
Yep.
It really was. And that's
Well-
funny because I want to start with the red light, green light. So yeah,
I mean,
continue.
in more ways than one. It brought us together because everybody between us was eliminated.
Including him right there. Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie. When I see you, Rick, it's called on site. because whenever I left, you stole my best friend almost immediately. So I don't like, you're my arch nemesis.
But we were in that room of 50 people, numerically ordered. I was the first chair. Who was the last chair in the other room? 229. Had somebody else got eliminated and she was in my room in the first chair, or actually somebody didn't get eliminated earlier on, she would have been in our room next to me. I would have been in the second chair. We could have bonded a little bit. She might have not chosen us, seeing that we're pretty good guys.
Yep.
But it was the numbers that decided our future.
It was pure fate that you'd be my new dad.
He needs a new dad too.
Yeah, definitely. So those who don't know,
my kids can't wait to meet you, Stephen.
I can't wait to meet you guys. The family can't wait.
I've seen him in the comments on Instagram. They're in there talking about we'd happily welcome you into the family. This, that, and the third. I think it's
which
cool.
that touched my heart. That made me really happy. Tell them
you read Rosalie's note. My other daughter Lisa's wrote you some notes.
Oh, that is
I saw someone's comment, one of their comments, and I didn't know if it was real or not because I get random comments like that all the time, people faking and whatnot. So I'm glad you hopped in there and confirmed it.
I didn't know she did that. I didn't know my kids are writing you. Like, what the heck?
That's so funny. But we're gonna get right into it, Rick. For those of you who don't know, this is Rick, player 232.
Is that your age as well?
I'm closer than you guys.
That boy said 232.
That's funny. He actually turned 69 on the show.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
very
Hey,
cool.
And
baby.
that was your
That's a good
actual
number.
birthday. That wasn't for show.
It might have been the day before. It was actually my actual birthday in Katanning time.
Okay.
Yep.
That's super cool. Well, happy belated birthday. We're a little bit late.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
By almost a damn year.
No, it's the next birthday.
Okay, so you were talking about red light, green light, which is a perfect segue. What made you succeed in red light, green light, and where many others failed, including this one right
And
here?
I'm taking notes.
Well, I almost didn't succeed, but I practiced, and I watched. I put the Korean version, the song versus green light, red light. I put it on my phone. I practiced it a whole lot with my grandchildren, and so I had those words memorized. So I knew that, anytime she came near those, the last couple syllables, get your feet in the right place, your hands, and stop. I had everything just memorized, and I was with the rhythm. I was just slow because I slow and easy was the way to go. Be slow and easy, and it wasn't. There wasn't enough time on the clock to go slow for those 5-second little sprints there, and
exactly.
and
I thought I was taking it slow, and I finished in the first quarter. So you
I
must be
was
really going slow.
I was in the first quarter in the back when you finished your quarter. Still,
Yep. Jeez.
Somebody way ahead of me says, if you're not at the halfway point by the halfway point, you got problems. I was nowhere near the halfway point.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
So you were concerned that you were going to run out of the timer was going to run out before you made it.
That was me, and I. They didn't show this. They were focused on Leanne and Kyle, which is a nice story, really. I was the last man that crossed the red line legally. I was in the last group and the last man in the last group.
Hey, don't matter. You made it. That is
No,
incredible. Dude. I
hey.
didn't know that.
No, but I got there, and I went too slow. I was too careful, and that was the issue.
Well, it's cool that you memorized the song and stuff. Did you do any of that?
Oh hell no, I didn't do it.
You definitely didn't do that.
Dude,
Did you do
to
that?
me, that's
Oh,
a
no.
bonus. The amount of foresight to at least be thinking about how can I be successful. Like me, I was just way too confident and way too gung ho. And obviously it showed that I didn't make it and was, overvaluing what I could do. But you obviously the preparation and making it a game with your grandkids and at least being aware of the song obviously paid off. That's awesome to hear.
He
I
was
didn't know any of that.
heavily
So
prepared.
Yeah.
I was
Baking
too
cookies every day.
underconfident. So I went overboard with preparation.
That is awesome.
I went overboard.
Well, you made it 12 to 18 times farther than me. So yeah, it worked.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next question, Rick. How did it feel seeing yourself on TV and being such a big part of the first increment of episodes?
Not crazy about me on TV.
Oh, yeah?
It's hard to watch yourself. You know, I don't do the Instagram. I don't do social media and post videos of myself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a little secret here. I haven't watched episode 5 yet. The sun's up.
Really?
And I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I can't do it yet. I can't shake it. Can't shake that one off.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
I told Netflix that. They've called me several times about it. I don't want, you know, you're good with going that way, you know, and that's great for you. I wasn't, and
Yep.
I mean, I'm living my life wonderful. I'm not like, you know, in some hole somewhere. But I'm not ready for that episode 5 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. So I'll just, for coming from an outside of opinion for Steven, it just seems a very similar fate for you. It just seems like nothing on your guys' own accord. Obviously, a little luck is a part of the game, but you guys couldn't have done more. Through the first 4 episodes that you've watched, and even through the 5th, you and Steven's dynamic and relationship is by far the highlight, and you guys are the most lovable characters. With obviously America, you know, really rooting for you specifically, and you know your fate, and that just seems like, to be honest, just bullshit that it was luck and seemingly out of the blue.
Yeah, you know, when Steven went, you know,
That's your ringtone.
Studio Lambert.
Lambert, can I have a second?
Rick,
Yeah,
Rick,
answer,
take
answer.
that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Should I go away?
No, answer it.
No.
Hello.
Says, are you doing a fucking
For anybody who
podcast
doesn't
right
know,
now?
Studio Lambert's the studio that put the Squid Games
production
together.
company.
The production company that put the game together.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go.
sure you're America's sweetheart. I'm sure you're getting blown up left and right, Rick.
What's that?
You're America's sweetheart. I'm sure you're getting hit up left and right by
Oh my God.
Netflix, by
You know-
people like us.
I'm trying to answer them. You know, at least say thank you. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They need to be thanking you. You got the whole country falling in love with you.
Yeah,
You know,
my wife
I didn't
texted
see
me.
it. You know, the first 4 episodes, I didn't see it. Maybe I do something different in 5 or something like that. But
I was gonna say my wife texted me and told me to tell you that she loves you. So
God bless her.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah. Honestly, I almost hope you start making some social media because there'd be a lot of people interested. Oh, I'll start posting a lot then because
Rick,
we'd love to hear from you.
What's your at on Instagram?
I think it's Dr. Rick Mercurio with some underscores or something
Some
like in it.
periods.
Something like
Or
that.
underscores,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dr. Rick
We're gonna
Mercurio.
find it.
We'll find it.
We're
Is
finding
this-
that one.
We'll get it posted.
Yep.
But that's funny that you got a call like that because one of my questions is, let me find it. How does it feel to be the brightest light in Squid Game and in the press, as we could tell?
Well, you know the press, they think I'm a mole.
No. I did see a whole article. He's absolutely right. I did see a whole article
And
that
there's
said
another
the
article saying they think I'm a fake player, that I was not chosen.
Yeah, I did see that. What are your thoughts? How does that make you feel? What are your thoughts on
offends
that?
me.
Are you a mole?
You know, that worries me because like you said, people are giving me nice comments, and if some of them start to believe that I'm fake, or I was a mole, and so they said I was so lovable because maybe he's an actor.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, clear the record. Clear the record right now. Were you hired and planted in the show?
I wish I was. That would mean I'd get a paycheck.
Right.
No.
I can tell you guys firsthand, this man is as real as it gets, as genuine as it gets, and all the charm is real.
Verified.
we had Dan on before you, and he had nothing but good things to say about you and about all the conversations he had with you, and nothing but good things.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
son of a gun. Boy, that's something. I didn't expect any of this from the show being me. No, and holy cow, what came out of it? Never would have dreamed it in a million years. Stephen, Dan, the Ganbu newspaper. Never. I wanted 5. I got more than I was hoping for 5 seconds, so my grandchildren could say, "There's Papa." That's all I just prayed for that.
Oh.
And a lot of people didn't get that.
Yeah.
And
You didn't get 5. You didn't get 5 seconds. You got 5 episodes, my man.
yeah, I didn't plan it, didn't expect it.
That goes to show your true colors just came out.
It's very true, and it's so touching because he was saying that on the show, like as we were doing the games. That as long as
I
he
didn't
gets
expect
that,
to win, didn't want to win, but it was true. If I could just, Steven, if I could just help somebody get there, and boy, make a difference.
cool.
That would be a personal victory for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's why you're probably the best character on the show. Definitely my favorite character.
You sure did. When we watched it all as a group with a bunch of our family and friends, and during the battle ship scene when you kind of like saved the day and was like, no, do that one. Like we erupted. Yeah. Like we were going crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, I almost cried when I saw that.
That was a
gonna
good
ask about that?
moment for me. And Steve was there, and
Just go ahead.
he kept saying I was in the zone. Steven, a secret. I knew where every ship was. After that, after we hit F5, I knew I knew how they were placed on the board. I saw it in my head. I knew it was down and it was touching the edge. I mean, I knew everything.
He is very experienced in battleships /
They don't show that
warships. He's
part.
played with his grandkids. He's been doing it for years.
So not only is he really, really good at this, he's smart.
Yep.
he's
Oh
smart,
my
too.
God.
So tell us about a little bit from your perspective, because in the battleships episode, they made it look, in the warships episode, they made it look as if you legitimately saved the day. From your perspective, as that game was coming down to the wire, what was going on in your head?
I had to save the day. We were firing in the beginning, both sides missing. And I didn't make any contributions because I was very down, because I know Battleship, a 9-year-old on the other side of that board by themselves could beat our whole team just from a couple lucky numbers. And so I just kind of just stood there like, but then finally I said C3. I told Jan, he put it in C3, bang, it hit. And I said, go to the right, and that's the location. It wasn't going up and down. I mean, I knew, and it was touching the edge. And then when they hit my boat, I quieted up again, and we had a bunch of misses.
Yep.
And then Dan hit F6.
A memory.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and then and people were saying go up, or to the right or left, and I said go down. I put in my face, and he went to F7, and it was a hit. I mean, I knew it was going to go touch that edge.
This is all real because I'm right there looking for him to say something.
Oh,
He said, "Yeah, do that."
Whatever Rick says. They don't show that. Not only did I just say the 8, I said a bunch of other numbers before that. And that's why Dan, with everybody saying going to 5, and including himself, why he asked me specifically, because I had a lot of right guesses before that.
Yep.
And you stuck to your guns, and that was freaking incredible. So what they said in the show, I don't know if this was an interview afterwards, but you said you just remembered that you had 18 grandkids, so the 8 was sticking out to you, along with obviously your experience in the game. And he consulted you, and then you stuck with it. Is that why?
It was the 18th grandchild, but then all of a sudden when I saw 8 there, it's touching the edge. And I said, all the boats, and all boats were touching the edge. They went from the edge perpendicular either to the one side or the other, but they were touching the edge. And that when I said 18 and saw 8, F8, that boat is touching the edge. I knew it. I saw it.
Dude, we erupted. We were watching. There was probably 15 of us over at Steven's house. We went buck wild, Rick. Whenever that F8 hit, that was the highlight of that was my personal highlight.
Yeah, because that was
that was my good moment for the
it was
journey there. It was my
hit or
good
miss.
moment.
It was crazy.
It was literally win it there or lose it there.
Yeah.
And you freaking won it, dude. And I remember we were electric for an hour after that. We're over here behind the scenes just being hyphy, waiting to go back into the dorms. And after that, they took me back to the mid room for a couple hours, and I was still hyphy doing the what's the fuck am I
Play-by-play?
doing the play-by-play and all that. And dude, I got good sleep that night. The best sleep we got all night, just from being so hyphy and spending all that energy.
I went to bed pretty high that night.
Yeah, fuck yeah, baby.
Maybe even before I left to Squid Game, I fantasized to have a moment like that. Wouldn't that be nice? A moment like that, not expecting that. I'm speaking.
Hey, Rick, you cut out. You cut out. Restart that. You cut out.
Oh, okay.
It froze a little bit.
Before I went to the series, I was hoping or fantasizing, when you're thinking about you're going to be going to England for a moment like that, one great moment, just fantasizing that and never thinking it would actually happen.
Dude,
That's so cool.
that is so freaking tight. Yeah.
And it happened, and it was literally my favorite part of the show, and everybody else's.
The fact that it was real, like it was so crazy, it literally could be fake. And I think that's why people like saying, "Oh, you're a mole" and stuff like that.
we
like,
were
I
saying
literally
that
think
people are not going to believe this shit.
they're thinking
dead
it's
real.
fake,
You
and it was
could
all real.
not have
Yeah.
scripted that better.
That's
That-
so
like,
cool.
That's
we-
why they think you're a mole.
Yeah, literally.
That was incredible.
Yeah, it was very fun. But Rick, this might be a spoiler to you, and I apologize, but you ended up getting eliminated.
I'm writing my comments. I'm so sad you're eliminated. And I said, I didn't watch episode 5 yet.
Was I?
I
Dang
have
it.
it. I didn't
That's
know.
With that being said, what's the first thing you did when you got home after elimination?
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
It's
Gambu
so
gang.
That's sick.
It's massive.
Did you get it finished? I know I seen it
No,
the
no,
other week, but
no.
You said it's not done yet.
oh, it's not okay.
That is,
I
you
have
were
to
a
wait
man of
3
your
weeks.
word.
3 weeks before she'll color it in. A couple more weeks now. And,
Dude, you went from describing what you were going to do on screen, and there it is right there. That is incredible.
my wife is like, "Where are you doing that?" And I said, "Because I told the world I would."
And it's massive.
Oh, and now we all love you even more.
Yeah.
Jesus
He's a man
Christ,
of his
Rick,
word.
you are a mole.
He said he does
Little
everything
tiny
big.
square on it, and he said, "The world's looking at. I got to make it. I got to
Dude,
make it
stand
an
out.
event."
Yeah, and
that's
that's a
awesome.
huge
awesome.
tattoo. Just like you said, you do
Oh,
everything
listen,
big, and
here-
you got a big
here,
tattoo.
And I got to put Battleship on it somehow. I'm
Yeah.
putting
Oh,
the design
so
in my
cool.
head.
And
F8
yeah, and
has to be in
243.
there. F8
Steve's
has to be
mullet.
in there.
that is so tight, Rick. I've got one quick question. So, like I described earlier, and as you know, the way you went out was very unfortunate. I don't know if you've had the opportunity. If you did have the opportunity, what would you say to Felicia? I think she was 229.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. What would you say to her for picking you?
I wish I could talk with her, and yeah, it was her right. She was up there. She had the guts to go up there. I did not. I was.
Yeah.
Same.
You can hide behind Steven, and she got up there and she could have called for Jesus Christ to leave. That was her right. It was her game. She was in control. It still hurts, but
Yeah.
I can't fault her for that. I
I
can't.
respect that assessment because I didn't even think about the fact that, oh yeah, it was a risk to go up there and she picked it. So I mean, it's up to her.
Right.
We're just mad that she picked you and Steven
Yeah.
to get.
Yeah.
to-
I've
I
heard
just
she's
don't
getting
like
a lot
it.
of
I
hate on
understand
social
it.
media.
I understand
Yeah.
it.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say I've heard she's getting a lot of hate on social media for kicking you and Steven off, and which is unfortunate, but
I'm
Which had it
thinking if
coming.
I should put a comment on her and try to calm that down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I think I will do that and say, hey, I played. It hurt. And I was sad, and so I didn't want this. But
Yeah.
that lady has more. She has more guts than I do. She did what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give her some credit somewhere.
Yeah, props to her for
absolutely.
that. Rick, can you describe your emotions when you saw me get eliminated and then followed by yourself getting eliminated?
You came up, and I looked like, oh my God, And then I said, that's a good move.
I gotta be honest. He knew because you saw the
were
dog
gonna
in
win
Steven.
this. You were going to win this. And I'm thinking somebody have to take you out for me to win. I thought it was a good move because. And then I thought Dan would be number 2. Honest to gosh, I was expecting Dan's name to come up, and I said, "Boy, did she pick the 2 best players in this building."
You're gonna make me cry.
2 of my best friends. Not to rejoice about that. Never think of me. That's what floors me the most.
Yeah.
Me.
I mean, it should be an honor in a way because
Yeah.
being the oldest
It
there
is.
and being one of the biggest threats there, that's incredible.
Battleship's proved it.
She
She
saw
went
the
after
way
the
you.
threats.
She
and-
saw the way you were playing, and she saw the alliances and the pretty much friendships that you guys had already created, and knew that that you guys were up to something.
Split it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was day one that you were winning everybody over. Everybody singing happy birthday for you. There was crowds of people around you almost every day just hearing your story about being a beekeeper, a doctor, a family man.
Oh, so cool.
It was hard not to.
Yep.
I know I was sucked in, that's for sure.
Yep. So would you say that Steven was one of the biggest threats in that room? Because the show doesn't really he gets a lot of screen time, but they don't portray him as being this threat in the room. So it's kind of a
He was the magnet for the group. There's no doubt about that. The biggest guy, the strongest, just so at ease with everybody. You talked more, and I don't mean it in a bad way. You really took control of things. You ran the meetings. You were my biggest threat. Would have never voted for him, of course, ever. And I probably would have let you win if it was the two of us. Honest to gosh.
Crazy.
But no, you were the biggest threat in the building. And I understood why she picked him. I didn't like it, but I understood it. Not
Same.
And I think if it wasn't for somebody who having a power like that to be able to do it, I think your strategy for the games was sound, and that it wasn't going to be a game that you got eliminated by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Appreciate that. Rick, what does the Gong Boo Gang mean to you?
I never was in a frat. I've went to college and med school for 8 years.
Whenever you're ready.
To be in a group, to be in the greatest group.
Hey,
We
Rick,
were the
Rick,
greatest
do you mind restarting?
To be
You
part
mind
of that.
restarting?
Pardon?
You mind restarting? We lost you again.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was never in a frat or anything in college, but to be part of this group of guys, to me, they were the greatest guys. They were strong but low key. Nobody was this noisemaker and flaunting everything. We were just this good group of tight guys, very powerful. To be part of that group, and they welcomed me. I'm all their ages added up together.
232.
and they welcomed me. Like, what would any grandpa think about that? Like these young, great, powerful people. The winner. Anyone in our group could have won, and some of them might have.
Yep.
To be welcomed by them. I mean, what do you think I'm supposed to feel?
Yeah.
So freaking cool. Moving on to the next question. Let me make sure I don't repeat. Oh, yes. How proud was your family and friends of you when you got home and they saw you on TV and whatnot?
Like recently or in the beginning?
Both.
Well, they were glad I made it. Like they all said, sorry, don't lose the first game. You'll be a loser.
Oh.
They put pressure on me.
Yeah.
I know they were joking, but they also were thinking that don't lose the first, thinking it was going to be a 5-minute walk in a park, like you can't lose that. That's, I forgave myself if I lost it 5 minutes into the game, like I forgive myself because this is tough,
Yeah.
Yeah. But they wouldn't have known that. They just said, don't lose, and the only thing that was helping was don't be the first one. But they every day they called my wife up. Did Dad call you yet? And they were reading articles about how bad it was. And yet so people were sent home. I mean, they're talking to the press, so they're out and about rather than being sequestered.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad's not home yet. And every day they'd call, did you hear from Dad? And it was, a week.
Is he
goes
still
by.
playing or did he die?
And
What's
then
going on?
he's
Jesus Christ.
All this time goes by, and they knew I did pretty well. I did better than I had ever hoped for. And,
Yeah.
they were just happy because this old man, that I jumped into it and did okay.
Yep. After watching the show, Rick, dude, I was unbelievably proud of you, and I fell even more in love with you. It's freaking crazy. They portrayed you very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's my good friend, and you're still top dog on the list of people
He
I wanted to
likes
see
you more
on-
than me.
Way more, by a lot.
Yeah. I'm not happy they put my yawn on.
Oh, yep, they did.
What the heck?
They could have at least put you sleeping in the bed and me having to wake you up to get
my
go
God.
get your lunch and stuff.
God, I was going to say that. Thank God you didn't call the Undertaker. You know.
Oh, I had to go over and make sure you were still breathing a couple
Rick,
times.
hey, Rick, you alive, dog? It's lunchtime, dog.
The horn would wake the dead.
We got hot dogs.
Yeah.
The
Always
horn
fun.
for the meals wakes the dead, you know, and I'm sleeping through it.
I thought that was a fun little part of me having to wake you up. I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
boy, if it wasn't for you, I would have missed a lot of meals.
Yeah, that's freaking hilarious. So moving on, Rick, what was your favorite actual experience like on the show, and then what was your favorite part in the show, like the air of the show?
My favorite part was standing on the balcony with you guys, just looking at the whole world of Squid Game. You know, just being there, just like I am here. You know, the challenge is your emotions, your adrenaline, everything's just going. You know, but just when you're chilling out and you're just standing on that balcony with these guys and just looking at all the players, and I'm here, and how many people wanted to be and didn't, and how many people didn't even know to apply, and they're kicking themselves for not doing it.
I applied. They didn't
That
want
was
me.
my favorite part, is just being there.
And it was real. Like no one else is gonna get to experience what we experienced, and it's just special.
It was the original series, and we were just I would pick a bunch of Koreans and come up right behind me and say something. It was just so real to me.
Yeah, that was. I didn't even consider that until now. That was fucking awesome. That was being in the moment and living, and I had forgotten about that until you just remind me.
And those lasted for a long time, so it was so nice. It wasn't just this quick little, just these hours of doing nothing, but just listening to the sound.
Yep, I had the issue of overthinking and analyzing. I may have looked calmed and tired and whatnot, but my brain was going nonstop. I couldn't wait for the next thing to happen, and you, just by being you, would remind me to take a step back and take in what the hell is happening, because it's once in a lifetime type deal.
I just love that. I loved it.
I'm glad you reminded me of that, and I appreciate that. But with that being said, we'll move on to the next question. If you could do, I got 2 more questions for you. If you could redo anything, what would it be from the show?
Talk to 220.
I'd be more attentive to 229.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Call it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd be more friendly. And I don't mean, I'm old. I don't relate well to some of those other people across the room, just being old, and they're younger and different races and different ages and abilities. To me, go over there and just start talking to them, it's just too awkward,
Yeah.
So I didn't get involved with the other crowd much. It just very awkward for an older. Now, if I was younger, I think I would have easier way to get my way in there and sit and talk with them, because I'd be more on be more in their line of what life was like. I'm just completely different generation. And I didn't feel comfortable going out or trying to meet all these people. So I found a nice group, and that's where I stayed, and kind of I don't know. I think part of me not associating with Felicia or her friends kind of was part of the problem too. Yeah. And I probably never even said hello to her,
That's crazy because,
but she's so different to me. And I don't mean any, we're just different generations. And there's a whole lot of people I just didn't talk with much. I didn't make the effort. If I did, they made the effort, and not all of them made the effort. And I didn't. That was my fault.
Yeah, but I understand that. And what's crazy is that is also my biggest regret. I'm 95% sure on our last dinner after we did our little chores or whatever and played the game, and we were handing out which they didn't air this, but when I was handing out the pieces of chocolate to everybody, I'm 95% sure she was right there sitting with us, kind of on the edge, alone, and I wanted so bad to engage with her and talk to her, because it's in my nature to be inclusive and whatnot, but I had a fucking bar of chocolate in my lap, in my fanny pack, trying to hide it, so I couldn't, I feel the pressure of trying to talk to her just in case, you never know, and I never freaking did, because I was trying to be so low-key handing out the chocolate, and they never aired that, but I'm pretty sure she was right there, and that is kind of why, or could be one of the reasons why she eliminated us.
She was pissy for not getting any chocolate.
I mean, she didn't know about the chocolate, but none of us talked to her.
Something like this for both you guys, something like this is only something you can know in hindsight. There's probably 40 people out of the roughly 60 were there, 30 people that you guys didn't really talk to. You know what I mean? Just completely random, completely based on luck, and you know, it just.
I thought we were safe because Gangbu Gang had a revolving door, and anybody who wanted to come in and talk were welcomed. And I thought we were good. We were safe. Anybody who rolled up, we talked to and exchanged and had a good time with. It's just those
we
other
had a strong
antisocial
line
people.
for tug of war, whatever that was going to be. And then other, they came in fine. James, you're in our line, like just come in. And we didn't say, oh no, you're not big enough. You're not white enough. You're not mellow enough. You're not whatever. They just came and we got our 15 people. Whoever wanted to join us.
Yeah,
100%. And what's funny is, and they didn't air this. Whenever we all thought that we were going to go play tug of war, our team was so strong that the other team was crying together and pretty much they were
saying their goodbyes,
saying their goodbyes to each other because they thought they were going to lose to us in tug of war.
We were the strong. We would have. I wanted to have tug of war, but I think what we did was real good. Unfortunately, we eliminated a whole lot of nice players.
Yeah, and a few of them were some of my close friends. Yeah, that's crazy. Man, this is fun to think about. It's getting me all back in my feels and whatnot. Get some little bit of adrenaline going. Crazy. But I'm going to wrap it up with this question, Rick.
And I got one question, too, when you're done.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll go right now. Rick, would you be open to do a Gangbu Gang reunion?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. They're not even open. I'll arrange the darn thing.
That would be sick to see.
So
I'm inviting Felicia. What was your last question?
Maybe Netflix could do a special, the Gangbu Gang, 6 months later or something, and just pay for us all to go to England and whatever.
It's in the works. We're talking. I'm talking to some people, but yeah,
I would leave anything for that. I would skip my kids, my grandchild's wedding for that.
I'm telling
Don't air that. My wife might see this.
What's your email address? I'm gonna send this.
You see why everybody loved this guy.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's good
so
stuff.
cool.
I like him way more than you.
Hey, don't stop reminding me.
Sorry, buddy.
But I'll end it with this, Rick. You've been a blast and a joy to have. So tell the people, who is Rick number 232, and what is your message to the world?
Rick 232. Oh, this guy here is Rick 232. I was nobody different. I wouldn't even know how to be somebody different.
Yep.
I'm the guy that was in the show there, and very busy life. I love my life. I just love every second of my life. The hobbies, the family. It's not sure why I deserve this. I don't know what happened. So I must have had another life before I was a real good guy or something.
No, I've barely met you, and I know why you deserve it, Rick. You got all the good things coming your way, dude.
It seems like you've lived many a good lives already, and here you are being a superstar on Squid Game's The Challenge. That's incredible.
I'm amazed myself. There's no way I planned that one. Unless I was a mole. Unless they planned it for me.
We knew it. Confirmed. It's verified. He's a mole.
As far as I know, Rick, it's well deserved that you deserve everything you've had and that you got coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what's your message to the world?
Well, hopefully you age well and don't quit doing anything. No matter how outside the box it is and not right for an older person, just do it. Every chance you can get, just grab it.
That's so cool and inspiring.
Yep.
Yes.
Great message.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much, old man, for hopping on. You've been so
Gramps,
cool.
Thank you for that, Stephen. Gramps.
You are by far my favorite player, followed by Dan. You've been a joy, and we appreciate
you.
You
were mine, of course. And, when they said 232, pick somebody, Steve, let's go. It wasn't like.
It was instant,
was
Steve.
good.
Let's
I
go.
was like,
Yep.
Which one of these guys do I want?
I was like, this completely contradicts my strategy, but what if Rick says it, I do it.
And I'm not going to lie, Rick, speaking as Steven's best friend, that part pissed me off.
That's good.
No, that was one of my favorite parts, too. He said,
Yeah.
Steve, let's go. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
I've done the same
And you
thing.
smoked him in that game.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they made it look like. It was
No.
actually much closer. I hit like 10 in a row at one
No,
point.
no,
believe it.
that part was very accurate.
He's gone. He ran.
That part was as true, most accurate part.
Dude, that was, I'm not gonna lie, they did a good job at that of making it look like, dude, Rick just got Steve kicked out, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
really just did
Oh,
him
yeah.
dirty.
I
and
worry
then it was
about
chocolate.
that. I was going to say, no, I cheated. I should be the one who goes.
Oh, Rick,
No.
you would no. I
Man.
wouldn't
Yes,
allow
I
it.
would have. And I would be rooting for you because you would have done it. You know, not me. You would have finished.
I appreciate that, Rick. You are an absolute sweetheart and a father figure to not just me, but
Speak for
Chase
me.
and lots of other people in the world. So thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you.
You're welcome, Steve. Great to see you. Anytime, just send me a note.
Rick, I'm gonna meet you soon.
Can't wait to meet
Please.
up here soon.
Wouldn't that
Yes,
be the
sir.
best? I would love to see a red light, green light kind of companion.
All right, we're going to interrupt this with a message
Well,
from
we
our
can end it with
sponsor.
him.
If you're curious on how you can support these great guys, is what I've heard, not seen.
Not experienced.
You can buy our Sexy Mover calendar. It's the last one ever, so make sure you go get it.
You definitely need to do it. This is more risque, better than ever before. I edited this. It took me way longer than it needed to. Way longer than it needed to. Way
With
longer.
your left or your right hand? Did you
I had to trade them off. I was getting tired.
The calendar's better than ever, and if it gets Desi going, imagine what it'll do to you.
That was really freaking fun.
Yeah.
Righteous.
You see why I like them so much and why they're my boys.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. And as you can tell, those guys are the real deal, and we really enjoyed hanging out with them, and I hope you guys did too.
Don't
Yeah.
forget to like and subscribe, though, for sure.
And like and comment if you want to see a boxing match between Rick and Dan to see who can actually be my dad. I want both, but I think they're gonna have to fight it out. No, I love them both. That was incredible meeting them, and they are real dudes.
That was really
Yep,
cool.
we're gonna try and get some more contestants on here that we can talk to and get their POVs of you. And I think Steven's trying to get something in the works about getting a Gombu gang reunion,
Let us know in the comments what we should do. We
and
need to
I'll
get something set up.
thoroughly intrude that
Yeah.
We all will.
Seriously, I'll be there.
Vigorously
this game's
with
getting big.
Will.
with Girth. I'll be in
Yeah.
there.
So thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to pre-order your Sexy Mover calendar. Link in the bio now. It's available and it's hot. Love you guys.
Love you.